Brendon Griffith. My drug of choice was devoid of any emotion. The way that I chose to do that was through opiates and methamphetamine use. Towards the end, fentanyl specifically. Without Redwood Recovery and Mentor Works, I honestly feel like I would have just continued into homelessness or being lost, having no direction. Prior to coming here, I didn't have a home. Before getting released from jail, I didn't really have any options, and I was really scared to get out. I didn't know how I was gonna, get a job and manage simple life responsibilities without a roof over my head, and a community of people that I could rely on to help me hold myself accountable. And I found that with Mentor Works and Redwood Recovery. It all started for me when I was about 18, and I just didn't know what the norm of life was supposed to look like. And to me, it was all about partying and smoking pot and having lots of friends, and that quickly spiraled into methamphetamine addiction, induced psychosis, and which led to homelessness and the desire to be accepted. I quickly spiraled into opiate addiction, and I found that numbness that allowed me to accept what my life was, accept having no direction, excuse my wrongdoings or lack of consideration for the world around me and for my life. It was blissful until it became misery. I hit rock bottom several times throughout my life. I think the first time that it ever really hit hard was when I had moved to Vernal, and a girlfriend of mine got pregnant, and I decided to get clean on my own, to try to get an apartment so that I could, raise her and do that. And the girl had decided to give her up for adoption behind my back, and I ended up giving up on myself again and diving into one of the worst spirals of addiction that I had experienced at that point in my life. I basically just embraced the drug use and crime, and really didn't care about anything or anyone. I think I'd finally given up hope of ever being anything more or having anything more. So in 2019, I pled into drug court and actually had my first encounter with Mentor Works. I moved out of the sober living fairly quickly and went and graduated drug court. I have an amazing girlfriend now, and 3 wonderful stepkids, and my life was great for a couple of years until I relapsed. I don't know if I got bored or I know I was struggling emotionally. I was struggling to kind of fit in. I didn't know how to be the person that I was trying to be, the man of a family, a responsible employee, all of these things. And so I relapsed and started slowly destroying my relationship with the only people that I'd ever really found connection with and love and support and a real family. And finally I got introduced to fentanyl, and it was pretty much game over. It got so bad that I completely burnt my bridge, ruined our house, wrecked our vehicles, wrecked my in-laws' vehicle, had multiple excursions in my truck where I could have, really hurt somebody or hurt myself or even taken lives, drinking and driving, using fentanyl, withdrawing behind the wheel. got to the point where her family literally had to have an intervention because I was destroying her life. I was destroying her as a person, and I was destroying our kids. I was destroying myself, and they couldn't take it anymore. And so I was asked to leave. Again, I slipped back into homelessness, severe opiate addiction, 30 to 40 pills a day when I could afford it. Finally, it was to the point where I just wanted to die. Begged God for death every day. Literally, shouted at the skies one time, wondering where he was and why he wasn't going to save me when he was waiting with open arms the entire time for me to just save myself. I think the turning point of all of this, was my girlfriend had gotten to the point where she basically gave me the ultimatum: either you get off the drugs or I'm out of your life. And a lot of days I would beg and borrow money from her, and I called her one night and I said, hey, if you'll just help me out this last time, I'll go to a detox center tomorrow. And grudgingly, she sent me the money. How could you not when you're being guilt-tripped by the person that you love the most besides your kids in the entire world? And they're homeless and they're cold and they're begging you because they're dope sick. And the last thing you want to do is feed that, but yet this person just won't let it go. And so I bought my drugs. I sat down on the side of this building. I threw my sleeping bag over me. This was December 8th, 2023. And I surrendered to God and to life. And I told myself I was either going to freeze to death that night or I was going to wake up the next day and go to detox. Either way, something had to change. And I remember waking up to the police kicking my foot to see if I was still alive under this sleeping bag. And I was. And I had my drugs on me, and I remember not even really being afraid for the first time that I was going to go to jail and then I was going to get new charges. Not that really ever scared me anyways, but I just wasn't worried about it. I had this sense that it was finally over, and I felt the peace of surrender. And they told me I was going to jail, and I knew I was going to be there for a while. And when I got to booking, I called my girlfriend and I said, hey, it looks like I don't get to keep the promise of detox, but I can promise you that this is our salvation. This is the course that I'm meant to be on, and it's all over. And I felt like it was over. My life has gotten so much better since May 1st. I got released from jail. I did CATS. I got released from jail on April 30th, 2024. And I showed up to Mentor Works the next day with a pair of socks that I had been wearing for a week prior to incarceration. My clothes stunk. I had a jail cut haircut that was done with a comb and a razor. And I had nobody except my girlfriend and the people here at Mentor Works and Redwood Recovery that was willing to give me a chance and believe in me. And since then to today, I now have a job. I make really good money. I have more shirts and pants than I really need. I've got 4 pairs of shoes, a TV that distracts me far more than it needs to, and I'm starting to get hope, and I'm starting to get vision back for my life. I'm physically fit. I work out. I can look at myself in the mirror and do my hair and think good things, and I like what I see. I don't wake up every day wishing that something or someone would just take me away from the pain, the misery, the desire to numb myself with drugs, to be able to even, face life. When I look ahead, I see limitlessness. I have a lot of goals and ambitions and things that I think about. I think right now I'm so early in the stages of putting everything back together that a lot of it is clouded by, just trying to kind of keep my head above water at the moment and make sure that I maintenance my recovery, by going to work and maintaining my classes and doing the things that I'm accountable for at the moment. Eventually, I'd also like to open my own recovery center or, become a bigger part of the recovery community in a way that is able to impact lives like mine and help people who are just so lost and broken and condemned by themselves and feel like they're condemned by the world realize that anything is possible and anything is fixable as long as you're willing to put in the work, as long as you're willing to never give up on yourself. And humans can be better to each other than we give each other credit for, as long as we're willing to be good to them. Remember that there is a God out there that I believe that, Jesus came to save me, and that there's power in that, and just hope. So I don't really know where I'm going or how this is all going to take place or how many years it's going to take, but I do know that I'm on the right path, and that if I can just believe in myself and start to put some things on paper and formulate a concrete plan, then I can make it happen. The difference between Mentor Works and Redwood Recovery and any other program that I've tried is that, come here as you are and just figure it out. Like, all of these guys here are my brothers, and we have disagreements and whatever, and we're all different in some way, and we're different from the people that work here in many ways, but no one here is trying to tell you what to do or how to live. And if you screw up, no one's shaming you. I think anytime I've ever screwed up as an addict or I've ever relapsed, there's nothing on this planet that anybody can say to me that I'm not already saying to myself. How could I? That was the worst possible thing you could do to somebody. What is wrong with you? How does your brain allow you to make these decisions? How do you sleep at night thinking that you're a good person doing the things that you do? You care about no one but yourself and your addiction. So, to do that, to shame us, really just has the reverse effect. And that never happens here. There are consequences for our actions, and obviously, use or threatening the sobriety of our brothers is unacceptable, and we make that known, but at the same time, if you fail but you're willing to get back on the bike and ride and do it sober, we're all gonna be the training wheels that helps you get back on. We're all gonna be the shoulder for you to lean on, and if you have a moment of weakness, everyone here is willing to answer their phone to get you through it. And I think that's the biggest thing that sets us apart. And also, come here with whatever dreams, whatever goals, whatever ambitions you have, and make it happen. And all that we ask in return is that you come to IOP from 6 to 8:45 and you do your best to take it seriously.